Hello, welcome to HERstory, Women in Loyalism. My name is Leanne Abernethy and I'm here today to interview Sonia Love, who is one of the members of our group. Hello, Sonia.
Hello, Leanne, how are you?
I'm good, and how are you today?
I'm not so bad, Leanne, thank you.
That's brilliant. So we have you here today because you interviewed me.
I did, yes.
And now I'm going to interview you.
I know, and I'm hoping you're going to go easy on me.
Well, what we want to do is we want to listen to your story, Sonia. So if you could tell me, who is Sonia Love?
Ooh, now where do I start and how long have you got? Well, basically, I am originally from Korean, born and bred. I have worked in many different jobs. I have been a dishwasher, canteen lady, worked in the bookies, went to live in England for about 5 years, around Margate and Canterbury area. I'll just tell you how long ago that was. That was when the Channel Tunnel was being built, and my partner then says, come on, we'll go over and I'll get a job there. He didn't actually get a job there, but he did have various jobs. So I worked as a hotel receptionist while I was there. Also did a tech course in Broadstairs for travel and tourism. And as I say, dishwasher as well too. Worked in a bar. I've done quite a few things, Leanne.
It definitely sounds like it, Sonia.
Oh, very varied and very interesting. I think it's nice to get out there and see what else is happening, you know, and not sort of being, not that there's anything wrong with being stuck in an office all day, but still it's nice to be out and about. My first job now was when, well, not my very first one, but whenever I was still at the Take and I was 16, I went and worked in Crazy Prices, which maybe a lot
from the
of
past.
yes, the younger viewers will not know what Crazy Prices is, but us older ones will remember it.
I'm sitting here and I'm looking at you and I can see that you have something on your arm.
I have an injury.
Do you want to tell me what happened?
Oh God, it's awful. Well, it's not really. Yes, I had a cast on. This is now a strap to help with the bones setting. I actually broke 2 bones in my wrist on the 28th of December. Me and my mother and father were in Londonderry doing a bit of shopping. We tried to get a parking space in the city and we drove around for an hour and couldn't get anywhere. And then we thought we'll go over to Mataland anyway and have a wee nosy about, and went up into Next and got a sausage roll and that and a cuppa. And my mother kept thinking that there was a Primark in that area. And John says, we'll drive over here to the Tesco's garage, and I says, I'll jump out and go in and ask them, you know, where it's at. So when he stopped, I got out quickly and my foot was caught in the strap of my handbag.
Oh, no.
So the left foot went up in the air, the right foot never came down, and the left-hand side of me landed on the ground. So totally embarrassed because there were so many people about. A couple were looking out their window going, you all right, you all right? And I was going, yes, I'm fine, I'm fine. And then I went to get up and I had a new coat on me too that my mother and John had bought me for Christmas and birthday. And all I was worried about was that. And I was like, what about my coat? What about my coat? And our John was going, the hell with your coat, are you all right? So I went to get up, put my hand down, realised no, I wasn't okay. So this other woman come over and my mother, and they went to lift me up, and I was like, you'll never be able to lift me. And I got on my knees here so I can actually get up with you. So I'm on my knees and I'm getting lifted, and then I thought, oh God, I feel a wee bit funny here, you know. And John's going, have you staved it? And I could see it starting to swell. And I went, no, I've broke it. And while we're here, just take me to A&E in Altnagelvin. So, and I was there from 4 o'clock in the afternoon till 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's a long time, Sonia.
It was very long.
And were you sitting there? Was it painful when you were sitting there?
Oh, it was awful. I was sitting like this here, and all they gave me was 2 paracetamols, you know, and I had to go through triage. And then I said to Mum and John, go use on home and I'll phone you whenever I'm ready to come back. And like, they're pensioners now, you know, Leanne, and they they like to sort of go to their bed early, and I was, God, I could maybe manage to get myself home from Londonderry, or one of the girls that's in HERstory could maybe put me up for the night, you know. So I was thinking that way, and they were like, no, 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 we're coming up for you, we're coming up to get you, you know. And I had a Kit Kat in my pocket and 2 bottles of water, and that was all I had.
Oh, no. But you got sorted.
I got sorted, and I got a second cast on on the 9th, and then I was back up again last week, and they were very happy with it, and I've exercises to do, and I keep this on just in case I twist it about too much, you know, but I try to take it off at night and move it about more, but you realise that there's certain things you can't do, and it was very difficult, you know, trying to do everyday stuff with just the one hand. You know, like when I was getting the washing out, and I was thought I'll strap it over this way here before I take it out to hang it out, but then you realise the weight was too much, you know, on the wrist. But it would only be me. My friend says if I'd have been drunk, I wouldn't have done it.
That's the first thing I thought whenever I first seen it.
You thought
Was
Sonia's
Sonia
been
drunk?
drunk.
You did mention HERstory ladies
Yes.
up in Londonderry, but I suppose I want to ask you about the group. So you've been in the
Yes.
group for a long time, from nearly the start. Why did you join the group? What was it about it?
Well, I moved to Ballymoney a couple of years back, well, 2.5 years ago actually, and that was through problems I had with an ex-partner, and I was needing to get away from him because he lived next door to me, and it was hard to get somewhere in Korean. A friend of mine had already moved to Ballymoney, and I was coming up visiting her, and I thought, do you know, Ballymoney's not a bad wee place, I'll maybe put in for somewhere. And I got a wee bungalow straight away, and it was great, and I love it. And my neighbours are great and all as well too. And my friend knew you from another project that you do in Korean.
right.
And she says, come on down here. She says, my friend Leanne is starting up a new group. She says, HERstory and Loyalism. She says, do you want to come down a day and see about it? And I was suffering a lot of anxiety then because of what had happened with the ex-partner. And I was kind of into myself, and my confidence was gone. And, you know, and I sort of was like, oh God, I don't really want to do anything, and I don't want to go anywhere. And I thought, right, Sonia, you know, you never used to be like this. Let's get ourselves back to the way I was and go and see what it's about. And was introduced to you. And there was only 4 other people at that time, Leanne. What, there's 70 odd of us now, you know. And I thought, God, you know, this might be good. I don't really know much about the culture, and I don't know a lot about our history. And you were talking about the projects that we would be doing, you know, about things that we would be reading about, you know, about politics and things, about flags and their culture and stuff like that, about Orangeism. And I thought, no, this is really, really interesting, you know. So I was glad I came.
Well, I'm glad you came too.
Thank you.
I suppose, Sonia, the beauty of the group is the fact that we're not all women that knew each other beforehand.
No,
You know, a lot of us that never met
That's
until
true.
the group started up, and it's good. It shows it's a diverse group. What about the name HERstory Women in Loyalism? What do you think of that name?
I think it's brilliant, Leanne, because we don't really have a voice. You know, loyalist women don't have a voice. And sometimes I think there's so much going on in women's lives that people actually forget, you know, we are intelligent. You know, we've got a brain, we can think for ourselves. We want to know what's going on in our life and in the world, and how it's going to affect us and children and things like that there too. I know right enough that a lot of people think that because loyalism is added on to the end of it, that it means, oh, we're all paramilitaries, or we've got dodgy backgrounds and stuff like that there. But we're not. We're all ordinary women living our lives, trying to do the best that we can for each other. We help each other out. We talk to each other if we've got problems. You know, we can sit down. We know there's somebody there that we can go to. I mean, you have a drop-in day on a Tuesday that we can just go in, have a cuppa with you. We can sit down and discuss anything, you know, and everybody does come together. That's the best part about it.
Thank you. It's actually lovely to hear that from a member. So what impact has the group had on you personally then, Sonia?
Oh, it's been great for my confidence, Leanne, you know, and it's really taken me out of a comfort zone. It's given me something to get up for in the morning. It's interesting, you know, there's not one thing that you could say that you're going to do and you're thinking, God, do we have to do that? You know, because everything is so interesting. I mean, we discussed about the Good Friday Agreement, and a lot of us can disagree on some things. You know, we're not all in the same opinion. We're going to be doing about the keeping the union together. That's very interesting because a lot of things, and I'm not meaning this in a bad way, you know, but a lot of places are just men orientated, and there is more women coming into politics now as well too, but it still has that man's stigma of, well, we're the ones that run the country, you know, and we do, you know, we tell you that this is the way it's going to be. Whereas I think a woman could sit down, you know, more and say, well, look, you know, that's not the way it is. And this is really should be how it should be run. And you're not thinking about the future of us or our children. Sometimes we feel that our history is being lost. You know, a lot of people are trying to change history, other parties. And we're just going to be standing there and we're just going to have to stand up for ourselves and say, no, this is the way it is. That's the way it was. We'll learn from it.
Brilliant. Very, very good. You've mentioned loads of things there.
Ooh.
What would you say would be one of your main highlights of being in HERstory so far?
Well, this is actually a brilliant highlight for me here. Leanne, I don't have Wi-Fi, broadband or anything like that in the house. I never even looked at a podcast before in my life until we started the training. And then actually going into it, you know, on the Wi-Fi and then bringing up a podcast and looking at it. And actually sitting here talking to you, knowing that people are going to be looking at this, listening to me, listening to you, the whole aspect of the technology of it all, you know, but I love the fact that we go places, we do things, we've been to shows, we've watched the Somme, we've got other projects coming up, I've got weekends away. You just totally inspire me and everything, you know, and you're always coming up with ideas and things that'll help us grow.
Oh,
So thank you.
and thank you. I'm very proud of you and everything that you've done, Sonia.
Thank you.
You always do put yourself out there and do everything that's asked. I suppose you haven't mentioned one of the big things that you did was that you were doing a little bit of networking
Oh,
before Christmas, weren't you?
yes.
Tell us about that.
Oh, yes, that was the time we went to the Titanic.
Yes.
And that was for the intergovernmental Christmas party sort of thing. Something that I'd never been at, and I was definitely picking your brains on the way up, like who all's going to be there, what do we talk about, what can we say, you know, how do you get introduced to people? You knew quite a few people there that you introduced us to and was able to tell us about what they do and how they've helped you through courses that you've done through university. And then Steve Baker was there, who is the Northern Ireland States
Minister of State.
That's I
Yeah.
was going to say secretary there, but that was wrong. Minister. So I got introduced to him, and I wasn't really sure much about him, although you had sent me through a wee link about him, so I could read and stuff like that. So got chatting to him, and he was like, well, if I come down to you for an hour, you know, what will we talk about and what is her story about? And I just rattled on, you know, told him what I thought her story was about, how it made me feel, you know, what we were looking forward to in our future. And then when we were coming back in the car, it was mentioned then, oh, you should email him, see what he does. And I thought, I'm going to email him. So I found his email address and emailed his secretary, thinking that he'll never ever get back to us. He'll probably be like, Sonia, who? The Titanic where? You know, what were we talking about? But no, he got back to me. So he did. And he was quite busy and he wanted to meet up and was making arrangements for a date and stuff and that. And his secretary, I think it was, then got in touch with you. Then you emailed me and it was like, oh, I look at you, girl, you know, doing that. And I was like, oh, I didn't think you'd get back to us. But you actually got up to meet him. That was the day I was getting my second cast on and I couldn't even go.
I know, that was terrible. We felt a bit guilty, but we still did go without
Oh
you.
God, I know, definitely. You know, getting an interview out of him, you know, to get sitting there and talking to him, you know, it was just great. You know, for somebody that is interested, and he's going to keep in touch with us. I think we're going to get another interview out of him, and hopefully maybe even on a podcast day he can come down and chat to us.
Very good. Well done you for doing
Thank
all
you
that.
very much.
So tell me then, what is the future like for Sonia Love within HERstory?
Oh, I'm just so looking forward to everything that we're doing, all the projects that you're going to come up with. There's so much to learn, so much to do, so many people to meet. You know, it's definitely broadening my mind, and it's getting us out there. You know, her story is something that's needed for women and women and loyalism. You know, we do have to be heard. And Leanne, you have brought this group so far, you know, from like 2 years ago when there was only 4 people, and you just seem to come up with ideas all the time and things that we can do, you know, and everybody's just, oh yeah, that sounds great, you know, and we're just so excited and just love everything that's going on. I am very, very glad that I did join HERstory, honestly.
And we're so glad to have you, and I can hear the passion come
Oh
through
God, thank
in your
you.
voice, which is absolutely fantastic. But thank you very much, Sonia. That's all we've time for today.
Thank you, Leanne.
And thank you, it's been great.
Thank you very much for
Brilliant
having me,
guest.
Leanne.
And thank you very much, everybody. If you want to catch up with us, we are on Twitter. We're also on Facebook under HERstory Women in Loyalism, or you can check us out on our website if you just Google Women in Loyalism. Thank you and goodbye.